What's going on, sports fans? JD here at JD Sports Talk, and I'm excited to do this video for you guys as the NBA offseason has practically begun for those teams that are currently not playing in the NBA playoffs. And there's been already an array of players, linked to the New York Knicks, and I should expect many more, whether it's agents leaking, information to benefit their client or whether they're realistic reports. We'll cover it all here at JD Sports Talk for the simple fact that you just never know who could become a Knick in this offseason. That's why this offseason is going to be very, very exciting. And if you want to stay tuned to that content, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. And I invite you to watch this video. And after you watch the video, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And if you do, make sure you hit that notification bell so that you are notified every time that I drop a video. So let's get right to it here with the first player, John Wall. And listen, I've gotten messages of some friends, that really think John Wall could help the Knicks. And hey, there's been a report that, the Knicks have some level of interest in John Wall. And, obviously this move transactions will have to be done via trade. And as you guys can see here right above me, I don't like this contract. He has about $91.6 million left in his deal. And if you see in 2022-23 above me in blue, that's a player option. And do you really think he's going to decline a player option for a player that, as you guys know, is coming off a devastating injury? He only played 40 games this past season. So you're talking about a player that's going to need to be managed at least for another season or two until he proves that he can consistently play, every single night. And that'll be a tough task for John Wall as he continues his career. This season he shot a career low 40% from the field. He was near career low from the three-point range at 31%. He had a career low in assists, although it was still 7 assists. Still a career low, which actually goes to show you how good of a player he was pre-injury. He scored 20 points per game, but he's not available. And, you're talking about a 6'4" guard who once was a very, very good defender. He's a good shot blocking point guard. He kind of reminds me of Dwayne Wade, 6'4" guard that can shot block. As we all know, Dwayne Wade is one of the best shot blocking, shooting guards in the history of the NBA. But that's the John Wall of the past. And, from a contract standpoint, from an availability standpoint, from a fit standpoint with Tom Thibodeau, I just don't see how in any way how the Knicks would seriously entertain John Wall, to this team. So I'm going to keep this very simple. This is a no. But hey, if any of you guys, believe that the Knicks should entertain John Wall, leave a comment in the comment section and let me know. But no, I don't think the Knicks' interest in John Wall as being reported is real at all. So let's go right into Kelly Oubre Jr. Now, Kelly Oubre Jr. is a very interesting player and potential signing for the New York Knicks because at first glance, he checks a lot of the boxes, right? He's 25 years old, so he fits the timeline. He can play multiple positions, specifically the small forward position, and that's a position of need. And then he's 6'7", athletic, can run, and under Tom Thibodeau's system, he will project as a very, very solid defender. So he checks a lot of the boxes. However, there's two big issues for me in the possibility of signing Kelly Oubre Jr. to the New York Knicks. And let's cover the first one here with this report that basically says, Kelly Oubre Jr.'s camp is confident that he can net $20 million or more. As we read it here, I've gotten a sense from a league source that Oubre and his camp think they can get over $20 million annually, and he ideally wants a long-term deal. The 2-year, $30 million deal that he, signed with the Suns is not something he's looking to do. And I don't get the sense that while Golden State is open to keeping him, they don't want to pay him $20 million or more. And in that case, they, basically saying the Golden State Warriors would be open to a sign and trade scenario. That's the first concern for me is Kelly Oubre. Are you buying or selling Oubre $20 million or more? I don't know about that, right? And the second big issue, with Kelly Oubre for me is the consistency factor. He has some consistency issues, throughout the years. This is a guy that has been in multiple teams already and is looking to, find a home. And that's why he wants to, sign a long-term deal other than having financial security. Kelly Oubre Jr. went to a Golden State environment, a winning environment. Even though Golden State was coming off a tough season, the culture was still a successful culture, for a respected GM, and a very, a system that around the NBA, a lot of people say it's a fun system and involves players. It's a lot of ball movement. So I'm a little concerned that he did not have a great season also in a year to where, it's not like he had the pressure of being the number one guy, but they were looking for that second or third option with Andrew Wiggins, and he just didn't flourish in that environment. So that is a concern for me, being that he was inconsistent in that environment. We pay him a big contract, $80 million, for example, for 4 years. What is that going to look like when he has a month, as you guys can see here in front of you, like January, where he shot 27% from three, 40% from the field, averages 13 points per game? What is that going to look in New York City, in Madison Square Garden, with the pressure of having a big fat contract, right? What is it going to look like in March when he, shoots 56% from the free throw line, 23% from three, only 44%, and averages 14 points per game? And as you can see there in February, shooting 50% and 43% from three, averaging 20 points per game. Month to month, it looks like, as I dug deep in other years, Kelly Oubre is not only inconsistent, but he's inconsistent for, long periods of time. There's different levels of inconsistency, and this is a big, big concern of me, as he is heading towards the beginning of his prime. And, this is a guy that, has never shot over 35% from three. And if I'm the Knicks at this point, I am looking at, efficient players. I am very big on efficiency percentages as the Knicks look to build their team. In my opinion, they should be looking at, unless you're talking about a volume, superstar like a Damian Lillard, in terms of the surrounding pieces, I'm looking at efficient players. That's what I'm interested in. Kelly Oubre does not fit the bill, and so therefore I would not look to give him that money. Now, if you're looking at maybe a bargain deal, then that's something to heavily, consider for, Kelly Oubre Jr. And those are my thoughts on John Wall and Kelly Oubre Jr. Now, give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Please leave a comment. I'll be looking out to see what you have to say about these players individually, specifically Kelly Oubre Jr., who is a very intriguing player. Although there are some consistency concerns, please let me know. For those of you that would entertain having him on the Knicks, give me a reason, give me your reasons why. And, let's see what happens in this offseason. It's a big offseason for this franchise, for this front office. We'll cover it here at JD Sports Talk, and I'll see you around in the next video.